We're talking about redemption through the Bible, the one story of the Bible, redemption through Jesus Christ. And one of the exciting things as we look into the pages of the Bible is to find out that we don't have to guess, we don't have to have hunches about what it is that God expects from us. We see that numerous places, but I want to start in Genesis chapter 4. We read about two boys. They were the sons of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. Cain was a tiller of the ground. Abel was a keeper of the flocks. And we see beginning in verse number 3 that they come to make an offering. Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Verse number 4. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? And why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it." Now, if you're familiar with the story, you remember that Cain becomes upset and he ends up murdering his brother. But I want to emphasize this first part here. God's saying, you offered the wrong thing. And you say, well, how do we know that he even knew that he offered the wrong thing? Perhaps he was trying to do what he thought was best. And I suppose maybe he was. Maybe it was what was convenient for him. But here's what I know. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse number 4 says that Abel offered a more acceptable sacrifice because he offered it according to faith. Romans chapter 10 verse number 17 tells us the source of faith. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God. So if Abel offered a sacrifice, a more acceptable sacrifice by faith, that means God had to tell him what to do. He told Abel and he told Cain, and Abel did what God said. Cain didn't do what God said. Now, sometimes people get hung up on it was this particular thing or that particular thing. There's a whole, there's certain things that are very attractive to me, but all I know is what the text says. And the text says that Abel's sacrifice was according to faith. Cain's was not. Abel did what God told him. Cain did not. We need to examine our lives in our pursuit of Christ-likeness. We need to realize we must do what God commands us to do. Join us again tomorrow for your Daily 180.